Hi guys, welcome back. In this video, we are going to learn what is a string index out of bound exception in Java. So let us understand and how and when this exception occurs. So in Java, string index out of bound exception is a runtime exception, and also we can call it as a unchecked exception. So let's say for example, I have a string str equal to I have a string of learning. Okay. So now here when you try to access the invalid index within a string, so that exception occurs. Usually if you are dealing with the string, you may face the string index out of bound exception. So this typically happen when the index is either negative or greater than the length of the string. So now trying to access the character from the string. So here I am passing the, I'm going to pass the index in the character at method. So to access the character. So index means index, that this is L, right? This L character L is in the zeroth index. So E is in the first index like that, right? So trying to access the character at the, suppose if I want to get the character at the third index, right? So if I want to get that, so I can say str dot, we have to call the method character at. Here you need to pass the index. So if I go with the third index, so now, see, this is L is a zeroth index. This is the first one and second and third. So if you are running this script right, it is going to return you R. So let's say if I want to print, you can save this. Want to print this, I can print ch. So now let's run this. See, it's returning a R. So third index, right? So now we have to pay the attention to the indices, right? See, it is returning a third index value. If you pass the index either negative or greater than, for example, if I give a negative value, right? Index of negative value. So it is going to see it is throwing the exception string index out of bound exception. String index out of a range -3, right? That is a negative one. If you pass the negative, it is throwing the exception. Now try to, pass that greater than length. So what is the length of the string? So if you want to know the length of the string, you can say str dot, you have to call the method length. So it is going to return you the length of the, I'll command this. So this length of the particular string. So let's run this. See, it's returning a 8. So this is the length of the string. So 8 is the length of the string. So instead of passing a negative, I will go with the 8. Okay. I'll go with the 8. See, even if you go with the 8 also, it is going to throw you the exception. I'll show you that. I don't want the length now, so I'll command the length. See, we are passing the index, length is a 8. So we are passing the 8, but still we are getting a string index out of bound exceptions, meaning that it is starting from the 0, right? So the length is already we have a 0 to 7 only. There is no 8th character available here. In 8th index, there is no characters in the particular string. So that is where it is throwing a string index out of bound exceptions. So if you want to get the seventh, I mean lost character, right? That is a 8, that is not a 8, that is a 7, like a total length -1, because we are starting from the 0th index. So if I run this, see it's returning the G, because that is what lost character, that is 0 from, it is going to start from 0th index to 7th index, right? Total length -1. So this is what, you need to understand why it is happening, why it is throwing the string index out of bound exception. Same way, if you are trying to get the substring from the indexes, if I want to get some character from the second index or, second index to sixth index, like that. Suppose if I want to get the value from second to, maybe second to sixth one. So this much substring I want to retrieve. If I want to retrieve that, see now I'll say, instead of the characters, what I can say, string substring equal to str dot substring. You need to call the substring. Here we need to pass the beginning index and indexes, the end index. So you can pass the command 2 to 3. right? So meaning that 2 to 4 we can say. So now if I am trying to print the value of substring, okay, so what is that value is going to return from the second index? So 0, 1, 2, from A to A, second index or third index it will going to print. So let's run this. See, it's returning a second and third index, second index and second and third index, right? So if suppose if I am trying to get the index of from second to, if I go with the 9, right? So 9 means it is a out of boundary. So if you run this, it is throwing a string index out of bound exception, right? We have to focus on the index. You can overcome, string index out of bound exception. So I hope this is clear. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next video.